Namaskar, Devion or Sajano. Today we open a book. It is not just a book, but a world. This world is called Gunahon Devta. What does this title mean? It means the God of sins. It is a very powerful name. It suggests that there is a deity, a God who presides over our mistakes, over our so-called sins. But what is sin? Is it a crime against society? Or is it a wound we carry in our own hearts? This novel asks these very difficult questions. It looks deep into the human soul. It doesn't give easy answers. Instead, it shows us a mirror. In that mirror, we see love, sacrifice, and the beautiful pain that often comes with them. This is the journey we will embark upon today. The central theme of this magnificent story is the conflict between love and societal rules. It is about a love so pure, so deep that it feels almost divine. Yet the world calls it a sin. The characters, Chandra and Sudha, are trapped. They are caught in a web of emotions and expectations. Their love is a sacred temple. But the path to this temple is filled with thorns. The novel explores this very dilemma. It examines how our deepest feelings can be judged by others, how societal norms can become chains. It makes us wonder, what is the greater sin? To love with all your heart, or to follow rules that break that very heart? It is a question that has no simple answer, and the novel respects that complexity. Let us think about the title again. The God of Sins. It is a metaphor, a beautiful and heartbreaking metaphor. It suggests that the character of Chandra, our hero, becomes a sort of deity. He absorbs all the pain, all the sacrifice, all the so-called sins to protect the purity of his love for Sudha. He becomes a god, but not a god of virtues. He becomes the god of their shared sins, their unfulfilled desires, their silent suffering. He carries this burden so that Sudha can remain untouched, a symbol of innocence. This idea is the very soul of the novel. It elevates a simple love story into a profound philosophical exploration of human nature, sacrifice, and the very definition of right and wrong. The story is not just about two people. It is about every person who has ever loved. It is about the choices we make and the prices we pay for those choices. The author, Dharamveer Bharatiji, invites us to feel, not just to read. He wants us to experience the characters' dilemmas, to feel their heartbeats, their silent tears, their unspoken words. He shows us that sometimes the greatest acts of love are the ones that are never spoken aloud. They are hidden in sacrifices. They are disguised as mistakes. And in this hidden world, we find a truth that is more powerful than any social law. This is the magic of Gunahon Devta. It is a story that stays with you long after you have turned the final page. Now let us talk about the creator, the writer, Dharamveer Bharatiji. In his introduction to the novel, he does something remarkable. He shows humility. He confesses something to the reader. He admits that when he wrote this book, he was young. He says his artistic vision was perhaps not fully mature. Think about that. An author at the beginning of his own masterpiece is telling us about his own imperfections. This is not weakness. This is immense strength. It is an act of honesty. It is like saying, here is my heart. It may not be perfect, but it is real. It is sincere. This honesty creates an immediate bond, a connection between the writer and the reader. This admission of artistic immaturity is a very important key. It unlocks the true spirit of the novel. It tells us that we should not look for technical perfection. We should not analyze it like a cold scientific formula. Instead, we should look for the feeling, the emotion, the raw, unfiltered passion that flows through its pages. The author is guiding us. He is telling us that the beauty of this story lies in its sincerity, not its structure. It is a lesson for all of us. In life, we often chase perfection, but sometimes the most beautiful things are those that are slightly imperfect, yet filled with genuine emotion. The author's humility is the first step in this beautiful journey. This act of self-awareness is also a tribute to his characters. By admitting his own youthfulness, he aligns himself with them. Chandra and Sudha are also young. They are navigating the complex world of emotions for the first time. They make mistakes. They are confused. They are beautifully, tragically imperfect. The author's confession is a way of saying, I understand them because I was like them. This creates a sense of authenticity that is truly rare. It feels as if the story was not just written, but lived. The writer's own journey of growth is mirrored in the journey of his characters. This makes their struggles, their joys, and their sorrows feel incredibly real and relatable. So before we even meet Chandra and Sudha, we meet the author. We meet his honest heart. He prepares us for an emotional experience, not an intellectual one. He asks for our empathy, not our judgment. This is a masterstroke. It sets the stage for a story where feelings are more important than facts, where the purity of intention matters more than the outcome of actions. This humility is not just a preface to the book, it is the soul of the book. It is a quiet promise that what we are about to read comes from a place of deep personal truth. And that is the most powerful foundation any story can have. There is a profound connection in this novel, a connection between two powerful forces, pain and prayer. The author suggests that writing for him was a form of prayer, and this prayer was born from a deep, personal pain. Think of it like this. When the heart is heavy, when it is filled with sorrow, what does one do? Some people cry, some people become silent, and some people pray. For the author, writing this story was his prayer. It was his way of talking to the universe, his way of making sense of the beautiful agony of love. It was a spiritual act, a way to find solace. This makes the process of writing itself a sacred journey. Every word becomes a mantra. Every chapter becomes a ritual. The author is not just telling a story, he is performing a kind of worship, and the deity he is worshiping is emotion itself. The pain of unspoken love, the sacrifice made in silence, these are the offerings. This perspective transforms the book. It is no longer just a piece of literature, it becomes a testament, a sacred text about the religion of love. It suggests that our deepest pains can lead to our most profound creations, that in our moments of greatest suffering we can find a connection to something divine. This idea also explains the emotional intensity of the novel. The story feels so powerful because it was written from a place of genuine feeling. It was not a calculated plot. It was an outpouring of the soul. The author poured his own pain, his own prayers, and his own heart onto the page. That is why, when we read it, we feel it so deeply. We are not just reading words. We are touching a piece of the author's spirit. We are participating in his prayer. This is what separates good writing from great writing. Good writing tells a story. Great writing makes you feel that story in your bones. It makes you a part of its spiritual dance. Therefore, we must understand that Gunahon Devta is more than a novel. It is a meditation on suffering. It teaches us that pain is not something to be avoided. It is something to be understood. It can be a source of strength, a source of creativity, a source of prayer. The author found his voice in his pain. Chander and Sudha find their divinity in their pain. The novel gently tells us that perhaps the path to grace is not through happiness, but through the noble acceptance of sorrow. And that is a very deep and very spiritual lesson. It is a lesson that stays with us, comforting us in our own moments of pain. Every great story has a soulmate, and for this novel, the soulmate is a city, the city of Allahabad, now known as Prayagraj. The author does not just use the city as a background, no. He makes the city a character, a living, breathing character. He paints a picture of Allahabad with his words. And this picture is not just of buildings and roads, it is a picture of a mood, an atmosphere. The narrow lanes, the university campus, the gentle flow of the Ganga and Yamuna rivers at the Sangam. All these places become witnesses to the story of Chander and Sudha. They hold their secrets. They absorb their sighs. The beauty of Allahabad, as described by the author, is unique. It is a quiet beauty, a scholarly beauty. It is the city of intellectuals, poets, and dreamers. The atmosphere is filled with a sense of romance and intellectual curiosity. This environment is perfect for a love like Chander and Sudha's. Their love is not loud or dramatic. It is quiet, deep, and thoughtful. Just like the city itself. The author describes the evenings in Allahabad, the gentle breeze, the fragrance of books, and rain-soaked earth. These descriptions are not just details. They are an essential part of the story's emotional landscape. The city's mood reflects the characters' inner worlds. Think of the river, the Sangam, where two great rivers meet. This is a powerful metaphor for the relationship between Chander and Sudha. Two souls flowing side by side, so close, yet destined never to merge completely. The river becomes a silent confidant. The characters go there to think, to feel, to find peace. The city's geography becomes the geography of their hearts. The author's love for Allahabad shines through in every sentence. He makes us feel the warmth of its sun, the cool of its evenings. He makes us walk with the characters through its familiar streets. We become citizens of this literary Allahabad. This deep connection between the story and the city makes the novel timeless. Allahabad is not just a setting, it is the heartbeat of the narrative. It provides the rhythm for the characters' lives. The city's culture, its values, its slow pace of life. All these things shape the story. They explain why the characters behave the way they do, why their love remains so internal, so unspoken. The city gives their story a home, a context, and by describing it with such love and detail, the author ensures that we, the readers, can also visit that home. We can feel the pulse of the city, and in doing so, we can feel the pulse of the story itself. In the final analysis, what is the greatest lesson from Gunahon Devta? We have discussed many things. The meaning of sin, the humility of the author, the power of pain, the beauty of a city. But at the core of it all lies one simple, powerful truth. Sincere emotion is more important than technical perfection. A true feeling, expressed with honesty, will always be more powerful than a perfectly crafted sentence that has no heart. This novel is the ultimate proof of that idea. It may have, as the author himself admitted, some artistic immaturity. But it has a heart so large, so pure, that its beats can be felt across generations. The psychological struggles of the characters are a testament to this. Chander's inner conflict is immense. He loves Sudha with a devotion that is almost spiritual. Yet he believes he is not worthy. He pushes her away for her own good. He takes on the role of a guardian, a Devta. But this role becomes a prison. It forces him to sacrifice his own happiness. This is not a simple choice. It is a complex psychological battle, a war between love, duty, and self-worth. This raw, honest depiction of a mind in turmoil is what makes the character so unforgettable. It is his sincere, flawed humanity that we connect with. Similarly, the novel explores the depths of relationships. It looks at attraction, at ownership, and at the soul's connection. Is love about possessing someone, or is it about setting them free? Chander and Sudha's relationship challenges our conventional ideas. Theirs is a love of the soul. It exists beyond the physical realm, beyond social marriage. It is a connection so deep that it doesn't need a label. The author shows us that the most profound relationships are not always the ones that society understands or approves of. They are the ones that are felt in the silent spaces between two hearts. This is a very mature and very brave thing to write about. So, we come back to where we started. To the heart. Gunahon Devta is a victory for the heart. It teaches us that to be human is to be flawed. To love is to be vulnerable. And to tell a true story is to be honest about those flaws and vulnerabilities. It is a novel that doesn't just entertain, it consoles. It tells every reader that your feelings are valid, your pain is meaningful, and your sincere heart is more valuable than any rule or expectation. This is why the novel is not just a classic. It is a companion, a friend who understands the beautiful, painful, divine complexity of being alive. Dhanyavad.